Today, we will examine the VA supply chain modernization project. The VA refused to share basic information about this effort until a little more than 24 hours ago, giving us no choice but to hold this hearing. We know the department spends billions of dollars each year on medical supplies and other goods and struggles to manage its inventory effectively. The Government Accountability Office and the Inspector General has written a mountain of reports documenting these problems. There's waste and dysfunction in every step of the process, and it's frustrating to the healthcare providers who expect to get the right supplies in a timely fashion to care for our veterans. The broken supply chain was on full display in 2020 when COVID-19 caught the VA completely unprepared, and medical center managers were desperately compiling and exchanging inventory lists and rationing supplies to their frontline staff. After that, the VA attempted to install the Department of Defense's medical supply chain system, but had to abandon it in 2022 when it failed to meet the most VA requirements. More recently, the VA put together the Supply Chain Modernization Project, which is even more ambitious. I absolutely agree that the VA needs to modernize some key systems and connect purchasing to inventory and payment. But the department already has a project to do that called Financial Management Business Transformation, which we have had several hearings about and is struggling to finish. The Supply Chain Modernization Project is a gigantic effort, the likes of which we have only seen in the EHR, and we know how that has turned out. It would not only replace the systems I mentioned, it would try to knit together all-encompassing system to manage every aspect of a unified VA supply chain, from tongue depressors to X-ray machines to printer paper to headstones. The VA has been soliciting proposals from contractors to do this for nearly a year. Now we're hearing that a contract award is imminent, but we still have only a rough idea of what the project may entail. The life cycle cost estimate is stratospheric, huge. And there does not seem to be any approved budget. The effort may extend for a decade, but there's no schedule. The concept is grandiose, but there's very little detail about how it might be accomplished. The VA may actually be preparing to pay a contractor to finish writing its work plan and schedule. May, you hear, may. But we don't have any details about this. Our witnesses will assure us the VA's financial liability is limited. However, I'm concerned that, in effect, the government will be paying a contractor in order to find out what the government will be buying from that company. That doesn't bode well. I can't be the only person that sees this conflict. In the real estate development business, if you start a project without blueprints or a budget, you are sure to end up with a half-built, empty building. This is much the same. Without a doubt, the VA and the veterans it serves would benefit from a functional inventory management system. And the department could make better use of taxpayers' dollars if the system used to order medical supplies were connected to the systems that pay for and track them. However, what is described in the VA's request for proposals seems to be a bureaucratic, empire-building mega project. This needs to come down to earth before it's too late. We have had expert testimony time and time again come before this committee and say these large software programs don't work. We need to break it down into smaller bites and allow competition to bring the prices down and the strongest vendors to come forward instead of relying upon 2 or 3 of the largest vendors that continue to show up before us that are not delivering on what they are supposed to. This subcommittee expects truthful and complete answers so we can carry out our responsibility to make sure VA's IT modernization efforts are on solid ground and prevent more costly failures.